any funds are welcome in any school district.
Isn't there an ethical issue, though, with the whole idea of taking stuff that was basically taken away from Texans, taken away from in taxes in other states and given here? Is that appropriate to take stolen property?
Ooh. Well, usually that's not the case for North Hampton.
You send it in, you want it back.
Anyways.
This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
orgfest.com.
Are you with the board? I had a question I was wondering if I ask you. I'm a reporter. To what extent is federal policy or federal involvement harming or helping the Hampton School, the North Hampton School?
And you're taping me?
Correct,
right now?
yes.
Can you give me a minute? I just walked in.
I understand. You're kind of out of breath.
So you're asking me, what do I think our state government is helping? Or
No, the federal government, their involvement, is it doing more harm or more good, I guess is my question.
I mean, goodness, I can't imagine right now anybody's doing any good, I guess is my opinion. It's just a frustrating situation that we're in, so.
You mean because of them leaning on you?
Well, I mean, we're forced to make some decisions right now, but actually what I'm most concerned about right now is with the state and just the unknowns that we're facing right now. So those are things that we are concerned about as a board, but you know, we're all trying to have the same, you know, my board members. I'm new to the board. This is only my second board meeting. And so I'm trying to make sure that we all have the same comments and everything. But, you know, of course, there are concerns with all the constraints with the budget. And
you mean this, with the federal or the state level?
well, at the state is what I'm, you know, that's what we're faced with on a daily basis, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what I'm looking at right now.
Are you looking at a budget that's going to be smaller next year than the year before? I mean, how much smaller?
We don't know. The problem is we don't know what's going to happen. There are a lot of rumors going around, and we're trying to plan our budget, but you know, you just don't know what's going to happen. It's hard to plan for what you don't know.
But the fact that you're focusing on that kind of tells me that you're not having huge problems with federal strings and federal involvement.
You know, I don't know enough. I'm too new to this to be able to tell you all those things, you know, at this point. I'm still learning, and like I said, this is my second meeting. So, like, I really couldn't be much help. Maybe you could ask someone else about that.
All right.
I couldn't really be much help.
Could I have your name?
Ann and Virgie.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Virgie.
Cool.
Are you, you work for the district?
I'll step back.
You work for the district?
Talk.
No.
And then
Oh, okay, never mind then. Thanks.
Karina and then Luke.
I guess I should have asked this guy whether he was on the board or not, rather than asking him whether he worked for the district.
Keep you busy? Sure.
Doing the final countdown in the background.
I've got the same email.
To what extent are the federal rules hampering the district from being able to function, or is it, or are they mostly helpful to the feds?
They're not helpful to the extent that they hamper. Testing impacts many days of a child's education. The standardized testing. So basically, a child is working off a portion of their year 6 to 8 days for reading and math and writing, and then another 3 days for science at grades 4 and 8. So there's a chunk of time. It's not that we don't welcome a system that gives us feedback on how our school is doing, but we would love a system that relates more closely to the real skills that we pride children on having. So everything from research to communication to problem solving, and a portion of the math does that, and fortunately we have a science that has a portion that's hands-on. I don't think there's any other test other than NECAP that does that, and that is at least realistic. But the difficulty is that the system, with the targets that have been set by No Child Left Behind, is punitive. If you look at the statistics in New Hampshire, more than half of the schools are not achieving annual yearly progress because they can't. They can't with their populations. They can't, you know, with the raw materials that they have to work with, which is the child and the human resources. So it's a catch-22.
Is a school district in the United States able to withdraw from No Child Left Behind by refusing the money, or is everyone forced into it?
If you refuse to test, then yes, you do lose out on federal grant opportunities, any monies that might be able to come your way as a school.
Has anyone ever done that? Has any school district ever done that?
Not that I know of personally. There is a school district that I've heard of in New Hampshire that is contemplating withdrawing from the science testing because it's not part of annual yearly progress. But that is just something that I heard of this week, and I don't know much about it.
And this is probably a slightly harder, a slightly tougher question, but are you ever pushing for any federal funding that would be taken away from people in California and Mississippi?
Are we pushing for federal funding? I'm not sure. Can you help me?
At North Hampton School, specifically. Are you trying to get federal funds?
Any funds are welcome in any school district.
Isn't there an ethical issue, though, with the whole idea of taking stuff that was basically taken away from Texans, taken away from in taxes in other states and given here? Is that appropriate to take stolen property?
Ooh. Well, usually that's not the case for Northampton. Usually it would be the other way around, where we receive very little by comparison to most other schools. Strangely enough, we're considered a rural school, so we receive certain rural school grants, and but they're so minor. I mean, the amount of money that we receive is so small compared to other school districts.
Right.
So, but any money is helpful.
You send it in, you want it back.
Any money is helpful.
All right, ma'am, I appreciate your accessibility.
Thank you very
And
much.
what was your name?
Jan Scipione.
And what's your position with the school?
Assistant Principal Curriculum Coordinator.
At North Hampton School.
Yes.
All right, thanks so much, ma'am.
Sure.
Why did you try to get me to leave the area of a public meeting, ma'am?
I don't think anybody else.
Get ready. It's the biggest liberty-oriented event of 2011, and it's happening this June 20th through the 26th. Will you be there? The Free State Project's Porcupine Freedom Festival is a week-long camping event held at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. From live performers to family fun to agorism in action, PorcFest has something for everyone who loves freedom. What are you waiting for? Be a part of the premier freedom event of 2011. Visit porcfest.com today. That's PORCFEST.com.